Donkeys has a very long history. Donkeys.Skånes has a history that is rooted in 2017. So it took 5 years for this to happen, actually.
It's about not wanting to let go in a relationship, and to which extent that is a sign of love. What are your boundaries within that? And why are you doing? Why don't you want to let go? Is there a specific reason? Was there a goal that you don't want to let go? Is it because you feel you don't want to let go? Is it dependency? Is it unconditional love? What is it?
A kiss, it has of course a meaning in also your personal life. When you kiss another person, it's the people that you love. So, like me also living alone here and having my friends and family in other countries, then it's your feelings of those people that you miss so much. It's very tricky. They come close, and I realize it's those feelings that I've tried to push away a bit to protect myself. It's like a protective guard to not break down. But I must say that it triggers. That's for sure. Yeah.
I always like contrasts. So I like the idea that you can interpret it verbally as don't kiss, but actually you're suggesting for people to kiss. There is a comma between the don't and the kiss that sometimes get lost in communication, but it's a very important comma. It should have actually been a period if we want to really, should be don't kiss. So it's more like don't, then you can imagine how to finish the sentence, and it's like kiss instead. There can be days where we're not talking much. Like when the dancers can be very busy in their bodies and physicality and handling movements or creating movements or handling informations. So there can be like hours where they're not talking. Maybe I'm talking or maybe nobody's talking. But there's still a lot of listening on how is everyone doing, or where are we, where are their bodies, where are the energies, what's happening. A lot happens in a studio. A lot of spoken and unspoken things happen in a studio.
Who is you, no? Yeah, it feels like, because she's coming up and then it feels like this could give, it would help you too. Yeah, so if you don't need the hook, don't even take the hook.
I mean, when I think about it, the first thing is like very intense, the word that comes up to me, because I mean, we are connected mouth to mouth with a partner, another dancer, and that's in one way kind of limiting. In the other way, of course, you have to be creative and to find other ways how to move around each other.
This one. Emma, what if you think instead of stepping forward this way?
Well, the very first step was a physical choreographic step, like a phase, and I was interested. I had this thought: it's like, wow, what if two people are kissing, and then how do you move, and what can you do with your body? So it actually started from a physical place.
And the flow also within, because of course the person is always close to you, so how to move through the negative space of the other person. Negative space is like the space around within the body. So like here, this is the negative space. This is how we call it, that you can move through the other person, like around the other person. But still being very clear in what you're doing. Fabio, he likes it to be very clear and direct. I don't know if that's the right words, but that it's clear into a direction. I go there, I start the movement, and I finish it there, and then I go somewhere else. but within a flow as well. So yeah, there's quite some things to think about.
It's a non-verbal communication. So it's about finding also the same rhythm. And then when you go very fast, for example, almost that you cannot understand each other, but you have a sense for each other, that's where it gets very exciting, because you don't know, the other person probably doesn't know, but there is something that makes you come together and it just works. It's just there. And the communication keeps on rolling even faster than your own perception, but it's there. You're still communicating. Even if you don't understand it, you're still speaking.
But I have to say, from very early, I understood that this was a piece that anybody should have danced. Like that, there was. It didn't. It's about connection and dynamic, and it's very interesting actually how the dynamic changes between a man and a woman, man, woman, keeping the same roots. Then other dynamics happen. So from the very beginning, I wanted to make a piece with more couples. And that's why, for me, this is actually the real Don't Kiss.
It has so many different possibilities. You know, like a mother kisses a son, or how you kiss a person that is passing away. This is, the beauty of art in general, when we really manage to convey something it's universal and it's not just for a specific group of people. You could easily just say like, okay, they are portraying the different types of love, the homosexual, the heterosexual love, but it can go way beyond that if you allow it.
I had a short research period with a dancer, with a woman, American dancer, Emily Nicolau. Then unfortunately Emily had to step out of it, and then they arranged another dancer to come in. That's Jerne Bisiak, who is my assistant in the production. So that brought me and Jerne to create the first version of Don't Kiss. So as a duet between two men. That's the original Don't Kiss version, where it started from. But it premiered in Germany for a theater, for a company, and that premiered as a man-woman duet, because the theater requested that it would have not been two men, but it would have been a man and a woman. So that was also a moment very important in the history of Don't Kiss, because that made me realize, it made me step out of the studio work and what I was engaged in creating, and it made me realize that there was also a social context that had to be taken in consideration for the future of the piece. Obviously, there is a resistance in seeing two men kissing and look at that as a relationship, just like you would look at the relationship between a man and a woman, or between two women. But, I mean, homosexuality has a very interesting history, and a lot has been achieved, and it's really impressive on the speed it has been achieved in the last 50 years. Really. But yet, if we talk about today, are we talking about Stockholm, or are we talking about the small places that are around Sweden? So it's like, are we talking about in Italy, are we talking about Milan and how fashionable it is to be a gay or lesbian person in Milan, or are we talking about a small town or a small village in Sicily? So, or even in the north, it's not about north and south in Italy, but it's all this. And then there is a lot of countries where to be homosexual is still illegal. So it's also, when does a fight stop? When it stops in you, when it works in your surrounding, or when there is still a death penalty for homosexuality in some countries. And this applies to every fight.